Okay, I'm going to cast a game that I just played on the ladder. This is against Bone Dog. He's the blue Protoss here in the bottom. I played random, so he didn't know what race I was to begin with, but I did spawn it's the red Protoss up here in the top middle. I'm going to play this from my perspective because there's a lot of pressure, and just watching from like both perspectives, you know what's going on. It's a lot easier to say, well, I would have done this, I would have done that. And even myself, looking back, there's a lot of things I would have done differently. Now, um, I personally like to drop my 9 pylon and go scout with it. For a while, I was trying to get a 12 gate down just to make sure that I got it down faster than the person, but I've decided that a 13 is actually better because you can keep your probes coming, and your gate is not much slower at all. So I've scouted that bone dog here, and I'm in his base looking around, right? Now, if I was paying attention, I would know, see, I've got 15 probes. He's got 9, but I never even looked at his probe count. So usually somebody's going to be doing a lot of cheese. They go about 10 probes, and they'll cut it because they want to save their minerals for their cheese. So, but as of right now, I'm just looking around his base to see what his tech is. I saw he canceled this, and that made me wonder what he's doing. So I made sure to go straight back over there and see. As you can see, he dropped a forge. So that's all I needed to see. I knew he was doing cheese, especially when I saw he had 2 probes in my base. So I put that 1 probe up there on it. I dropped a forge immediately. That's what you always do. If you think you're getting cannon rushed, you want to try. He put a pylon behind my mineral line. So I pulled 4 probes to take the pylon out. I dropped my forge, and that right pylon, I dropped it. So if you'll notice the perimeter of my base, I'm going to be able to put cannons. Also, I scouted that down there, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put cannons. Hopefully, the goal is for my cannons to be done to stop his cannons from pushing on my base. So he's ahead of me. His forge is done. His cannon's coming. My first cannon I put at the ramp. Maybe not the best idea because he had those down there, but if he didn't have a probe in my base already, then that would have stopped him from coming in. So he's got 2 cannons coming. So I'm actually in pretty bad shape right now. So I'm trying to contain him. I'm trying to keep him from encroaching on up into my base. Now, as you can see from the unit count, he's got 11 probes, and he's not making any more. I'm still making probes, which maybe not a good idea because it's hard for me to make defensive cannons if I keep probes coming. But my economy is a lot better. And there's a few, like this right here, like I said, I mean, you know the pressure you're under. I shouldn't have let my zealot get killed. Those 2 cannons are actually very strong. So he's put another cannon right there. So that was a bad placement there because he's going to have 2 cannons finished at the same time as my 1 cannon. The best thing to do would be to pull back, get my cannon out of range of his. This is when I get mad because he's no GG no re. So yeah, I do a lot of BM in this game. Alright, so right now I'm just trying to let's see. I don't know how to put it away. Alright, so right now I'm trying not to die. I mean, that's what it boils down to. He's got all these cannons, he's got all this pressure. And it's really easy to fall apart when you're under this much pressure. So I'm trying to send a probe down there because I'm going to actually try and counter rush him some. Just because I'm hoping his base doesn't have any defenses. So I'm going to lose that gate there. But my perimeter, he can't really move in anymore. If you see, I've got cannons all the way around his cannons. So even if you drop 2 or 3 cannons before they would finish, my cannons could take him out. So this right here is actually, that's a waste of a pylon. I shouldn't have done it. But like I said, you know, I was in panic mode. So, but I've got a lot better economy than he does. My income was almost 200 more than his. I've actually ahead on tech. He doesn't have anything but cannons and pylons. He has no gateways or anything. If you see on the mini map, he did. He put all of his probes stuck in the pylons. So that's too many. Four probes would have stopped that and wouldn't have hurt your mining as bad. So yeah, I do cussing pretty bad. And honestly, you know, I thought I was behind this game, and I thought I had every chance in the world of losing it. You know, I thought I did lose it. So I'm just trying to get my... He's got me contained here, which is very bad. However, like I said, you know, I got my gates coming. He doesn't even have one down. I've got gas. He's not even started mining gas yet. And I've got 25 probes to his 15. So I'm actually in better shape than he is. Which usually if somebody's cheesing you, if you can stop that initial cheese rush, you're in pretty good shape. So like I said, right here, you know, I'm okay. You know, his cannons are held out. I've got gates coming. I've got a few zealots coming. Cybernetics is coming. And as you can see from the production, he is expoing. But he's only got 15 probes. So that's not really helping him a whole lot right now. So... See, I'm just trying to stay alive right now. Now I know that it's going to be hard to bust out these. See, I tried to explode right there with that probe, but the cannons took him out as soon as he came out. So I've got stalkers coming. I've got get ready to put down a robotics. That's for immortals and for Colossus. That way I can get rid of those cannons in my base. You know. I sneak out 2 probes, which this is the best thing I did because he doesn't know about this base that I'm putting up, and he doesn't get ahead of me, you know, because he's starting to make those probes. So he's going to eventually with 2 bases, 2 mining patches, and 2 nexuses. He's going to have more chrono and more probes than me. So I'm saving up here for my 400 minerals. I'll drop it. All right. So what's happening here is I wasn't watching, so as soon as they came out, those cannons started attacking it, and then my stalker started attacking the cannons, which I didn't want it to do, but like I said, I was trying to do my expo, so I think I lost 1 or 2 stalkers from doing that. So believe it or not, I'm in pretty good shape here. You know, I've got an expo coming. I don't know he has one, but you know, I've got an expo coming. I've got 27 drones, which he's starting to pull ahead, you know. He's making 2 at that way. He should be making 2 at a time, but this guy's just bad. So this is what I'm saying, like, there's coming out there as I'm making an attack, and even though I was telling him to go up there. Alright, so I get my robotics bay down, because I'm going to try and get some Colossus so I can get rid of those cannons. And there's a lot of bad BM, that's why I turned on the mature language filter. Alright. So see, I actually thought I was ahead because I thought I had an expo that he didn't know about, and that he was doing all this cheese, and I thought that, you know, he didn't have an expo. But he's done. I think he put down like 6 gates. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5 gates, and he has an expo, which I don't know nothing about any of this. So APM's not the best in the world. Alright, so I'm getting the thermal lance so that way my Colossus can attack outside the... And the reason I chose the thermal lance first is I wanted to get done fast, and I didn't want my Colossus to be in range of the cannons. So my goal was to get that out as soon as possible and get those cannons out of my base, you know, because it's really restricting where I can build at. It's hard for me to get my units out, and plus I know that with those pylons, I was afraid he's gonna go void rays. That's why I tried to get a lot of stalkers. But I figured with those pylons that he could warp in DTs or something, even though he knew I had cannons. But believe it, people at Cheese used to go Canon, DT, Void Ray. That's like typical. But at least this guy, he went 6 gate stalkers. Alright, so got my Colossus about done. I got my Thermal Lance about done. I've got a decent little army, but I didn't want to lose them all to the cannons. Got my expo up and running. But you can tell he's closed the gap with the probes, but he just doesn't make a lot of probes. He's just a bad platinum player. I have no idea how he's platinum and I'm gold. It shocked me when I saw it at the end of the game. So here's where he starts his actual attack. He starts warping in units. The good thing about me is I've got a Colossus out already. Okay, I go straight for the pylons because I don't want these cannons like destroy me while I'm attacking those stalkers. So I'd rather fight 2 cannons than like 5 or 6. So I lose the clock. That's just bad macro on my part. I should have taken this pylon out, but I didn't know the health, and I was trying to lose all my stalkers because I knew I had cannons to fall back to. So when he had more stalkers than me, I pulled back so I could warp in more guys. Like the same way he was using his cannons, I'm trying to use my cannons. So he's still talking trash. That's all he did the whole game. Pull my Colossus back. It's got good range. Pull it back. I thought I pulled it back. I guess I didn't. So I am doing horrible with my macro, but like I said, you know, I was panic mode. You know, I'm trying to keep my economy up. I'm trying to get units. I'm trying to get run over. So he made a bad decision there. He focused on that pylon, but I had 2 more pylons, and plus I have as many stalkers as he does now. Plus I've got better economy, which he doesn't know I have the base. Like I don't know he has his, and he doesn't know I have mine. He thinks I'm on 1 base still. He thought he had me contained. So that expo really did save me, because if I hadn't have done that, he would have been so far ahead. It'd been bad. I'm 9 probes up on him. I've got more stalkers than him. I mean, actually, I don't know it, but I'm in pretty good shape right here. See, I tried to lose all my stalkers, so I'll pull them back. Here comes another Colossus. If you see the supply, it's 60 to 41. I put down a few more gates. So, you know, like I said, all this pressure he's put on me, it hurt him so bad in the beginning. Because, you know, I had like, you know, for a long time I had like 10 more probes than him. But when you got 25 to 15, that's a great advantage for me. Which, like I said, you know, I didn't know any of this. What saved me was the scouting. If I hadn't have stayed in his base and saw him cancel the gateway and put that forge down, I wouldn't have dropped my own forge, and I would have it'd been game over. So I'm going back to my cannons. He's going back to his. This right here is where I really. This is what finishes his push. My Colossus is out. I've got a good force here. He doesn't have anything else to warp in. I made a mistake here because I knew that it's on the mini map down here. That blue pylon here. If I had destroyed it, he wouldn't have been able to warp more guys in. So that was a bad thing I done there. I should have known not to do that. Alright, so he tries to force field me in. I take my expo out. But with the Colossus, you can knock down force fields, which this guy didn't even know that. All I had to do was just walk straight down there, take that out. Now, as you see, I've mined my main out. So like I said, if it wasn't for that expo, I'd been in bad shape. You see, he's actually lost about the same amount as I have. His income's better now because I've only got 1 base mining. I didn't know it, but he took the 3rd over here. Like I said, you know, I'm not going to use scouting because I'm trying to stay alive. So what this shows is where he was cheesing me and cannon rushing me. My tech's a lot better. I got Immortals, I got Colossus, I got Stalkers, and all he's got is like 5 gates. If I had DTs, I would have destroyed him. That was actually an accident. I was going to send my observer down there because I was warping some zealots to his mineral line. But it worked out well because the Colossus, when I bring it back, I finally decided to take the pylon out way later than I should have. But my second Colossus catches them. So I'm not even watching, but there's his view. And I'm worried about getting another base up because I know my main's mined out. I've got way too many probes on my expo. So I've got 49 probes. I mean, you see, when they start crossing over, you've got way too many probes. But at this point in the game, you know, I've got Immortals, Colossus, 3 Stalkers. He's just got 6 Stalkers. This here was a bad idea. I should have done the first 3, and whenever he walked into all the Stalkers, I should have just quit. See, there's no way I can beat that many Stalkers with that few. Like, I only had 3 gates at the time. But if nothing else, he had to warp in units at his base instead of up there where I'm at. So I should have just masked up instead of trying to do this right here. This was a waste of money. But his loss is actually higher than mine now. Okay, I pulled too many probes here. I should have pulled a little bit fewer because I don't have a good saturation up here now. I mean, it's okay, but it could have been better. But I've got these guys, they run back and forth. This isn't going to be done until they make a trip, I think. Maybe my timing was better than I thought it was. So if these guys don't run across the map, then that wasn't too bad. Okay, it wasn't too bad. I just lost these few mine. But this guy, he did a good job of keeping pressure on. But one thing that I started, I've got my, I'm almost 1-1, 1-0. He has no upgrades at all. No upgrades, but he's got one coming finally. So that's what's helping me like. Now I'm trying to get upgrades. I've got better tech. We're about the same on probes finally. But it's 19 stalkers to 8 stalkers. Now what he does here in a minute, this was bad on his part. He wanted to take that expo out, which is good, but his army was much bigger than mine. If he just turned around, focused my Colossus down, and then took my, he would have destroyed me. I mean, he had, like I said, double the stalkers that I did. So he focused that down, and then I had as many as he did, so it was easy with those 2 Colossus back there to take him out. Alright, so basically the game switched from me being under pressure to me pretty much, I feel like I was in control at this point, you know. I've got my observers. He tries to force field the ramp. With Colossus, you can't do that. Colossus will just walk on your force field. I discovered this base. He had it for a while, but I wasn't aware of it. But I took this out. I'm putting pylons behind the mirror lines because I want to see where he's exploded at. I wasn't thinking he's going to be where my force would be. I was thinking he's going to be exploded in one of those 3 places. So, I got my third coming back again. I've got the rocks cleared at the gold. I've actually got a bigger army than him finally, so he's asking me questions, and I'm still kind of pissed off because of the whole cheese. So I tell him, you know, he's an idiot, and I'm not telling him, but I'm telling you guys, Colossus can walk on force fields. Any massive unit like Colossus, Thor's, Ortalisk, they knock force fields straight down. Okay, I made a mistake here. I shouldn't have got a second forge because I wasn't upgrading. I was planning on doing dual upgrades. That's how I was going to try and beat them, was to get their upgrades. But my money stayed so low I wasn't able to do that. But my army, like, he kept sending like 4, 5, and 6 stalkers after his first big push. So I just kept steamrolling him. So now I'm talking. He's like, he GG'd me whenever he was doing his cheese. So now that I'm in control, I'm being kind of the BMer, you know. He said he owned me, but then he started watching TV. Well, his APM never dropped. I actually watched. I mean, for gold, platinum, 50 average is pretty good. And I was telling him excuses. He needed to. He said he learned a GG, and I have bad manners for not leaving because he said that I was beaten. I should have left. But usually, if somebody beats you and you just stay in there to make the game longer, that is bad manners. But at no point in this game was I ever out of it. Okay, I whooped a guy in down there and just sent him at his base. Okay, this is my final push, you know. So obviously smack talk. He had DTs coming, but I had 2 observers, so that was a little bit. And I had cannons at everything but my third. So I'm getting ready to do my final push. So he's got 12 zealots, which is, you know, zealots are pretty good units versus stalkers if they have charge. So this is it right here. So long story short, if you're going to cheese, don't talk trash till it's over. And if somebody's cheesing you, just try and hold it off, and you should be in a better position than they are to win the game. Alright guys, see y'all later.